aileron. See how it wants to skip a little bit? Want it to lift off for that tilt. It's a little awkward, but that keeps us from, as we transition from weight on the wheels to weight on the wings, the horizontal resistance of the tires decreases. Right. So you have to use those ailerons, right? So probably about a foot above the pavement, or your flare in there. So when you get that nose up, use your peripheral vision too. Sometimes you can't see the center line anymore. We just have to guesstimate based on the runway edge. And as you pull back, airspeed slows, so we have to deflect the ailerons more to get the same force. It's juggling, bouncing on one foot on a pogo stick. Yeah. See on that one, we kept the nose down a little bit longer. I think then it slowly drifted to a tendency to flatten out at about 100 feet on your final approaches.
Runway at Foxtrot, let me know when you're ready to go.
A little further.
175, roger.
So at this time, still make sure you're looking at your track so we don't converge or diverge on the runway.
175, fly runway heading, runway 33, clear for takeoff.
We're pretty lightweight with the lower fuel load too, which is part of, you notice we have a reduced power setting compared to what we're used to. Remember how we were doing those soft field landings where we kind of get right down on top of the runway and then bleed the airspeed off? Go for something like that, where you get a little bit closer to that runway, bleed the airspeed off, and just touch that left wheel down, right wheel down, nose wheel down. Okay.
Commander 80, runway 33, clear for the option.
80, runway 33, clear for the option. To the left a little bit.
Yep. There we go. That feels like a pretty good side slip. So our nose is perfectly aligned and the track, we're going right with the center line, right? So keep that up. Make those fine-tune adjustments.
175, contact departure.
So you're going to have that tilt. That's what you want. That's what's preventing us from drifting, right? Got that runway made, full of power. The nose down. The slip is giving us our more vertical angle, right? Keep the nose down. There you go. I felt you starting to put that right rudder down. Good job. We got slow again, right? Again. You noticed how the airplane started to turn into the wind, right? Just like I was talking about. As the weather vaning into the wind, you started putting your right foot. Good job. Allowing the airplane to get a little closer to the runway with a little more speed, you'll have more control over that, right? All right, off we go. The stronger the wind gets, the more that weather vane tendency happens. That's why I was really hoping it was going to be gusting into like the mid-20s. That's what I was hoping for.
So, the maximum wind velocity.
Maximum demonstrated crosswind of the Cessna 172 is 15 knots. Correct crosswind. That's maximum demonstrated. That doesn't mean it's a limitation, but that means that a test pilot did it. And again, and it was a new airplane. Are we test pilots? Is this a new airplane? But that also is with full flaps, right? So you know, it depends on technique. Depends on flap setting, you know, all that kind of stuff. And a 40-degree crosswind at 20 knots is not that point, right? We got to do the vector diagram. In our dandy E6B. Alright, so when you roll out, left rudder. We're still going to have right rudder pushed because we have the nose up, right? But a little bit of left rudder addition. Or I guess you could look at it as ease up on the right rudder, right? Okay.
Runway 33 cleared for the option. 90 runway 33 cleared for the option. Could go a little bit.
Yeah, we've got the wind pushing us, so we try not to overshoot, but we don't have to turn as early as we would, because we don't want to overshoot and have to come back, right? It's just planning. But remember that rectangular course procedure we did a long time ago? It's, are we turning a full 90 degrees, less than, or more than? That was the whole point of that maneuver, is to apply it to traffic better. Our altitude looks really good, however, remember when we start putting the slip in, our descent rate's going to change. So in this situation, we don't want to go to full idle. Last round we were a little bit higher, right? Good, just keep working it. Just keep the nose down. There you go. Alright, now you got that runway made. Keep the nose down a little longer. There we go. Now just let it settle down. Keep working your rudders. Don't get locked on your feet. Good job. Keep the other one coming in. There we go. Keep driving with your feet. Good job. It feels like it gets a little squirrely in that transition again, right? So that's why this aileron and the rudder technique is very important. To not buying runway lights, right? Okay, off we go. More aileron, don't ease up. There you go. That's when you start easing up, when you actually feel it move, right? Just because we're rolling down the runway, don't ease up. Essentially what we're doing is just planting that wheel, the outgoing wheel, into the ground, right? So it gives us that resistance to directional drift. It's probably one of those, since you have had the blessing of virtually no wind throughout your entire training, this is probably one of our stronger days. So, and when it becomes, where there's a gust factor in there, or the wind is somewhat variable, as that one you kind of felt we were a little bit more towards the end, you have to just be ready to move. You know, don't think that once you have your crosswind set, it's going to stay that way, right? That the wind working against you and the change in airspeed. Change in airspeed results in, again, different deflection to get the same force. You guys have any snow the other day?
Monday. It was Monday, exchange. Sorry, runway 33 clear for the option. 33 clear for the option. And hail yesterday.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, Gwen was real excited because she got to go sledding one more time. we probably had almost 3 inches.
Really?
It was gone by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but
How's Crystal?
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
Getting closer?
Yeah. Yeah, she's at that, you know, ready to be done stage.
Don't blame her.
Beautiful base. So we're like perfectly 90 degrees to the runway there.
Oh. Doesn't mean anything. Really not bad.
Yeah, that looks good. We'll just establish the crab now. Right. Take it inbound as, you know, we don't want to set up that slide slip this far out for two reasons. One, our leg gets tired. And two, we add drag, right? So we're bringing ourselves down sooner than we really want. Make sure we're in a position to land on the runway. There we go. Yeah, it feels like it's picking up a little bit. Alright, so just take it right down into the runway. So a little bit lower before we start that flare, and really focus on that wheel first. Working it, try to make small changes as much as you can, you know, only what's necessary. So, that nose down a little longer. Now start bringing it up, smooth and slow. Dancing on your feet. There we go. Good job. We're a little bit high, but you notice you're starting to drift and crank that aileron in there.
Working on it.
Yep. It does feel like it's stiffening up. I'm happy about that. Okay, yep, keep the aileron in until you feel you need to let go. There we go. Beautiful. And once you lift off, do coordinated flight. So push that left rudder to center the ball. You'll go to the automatic correct crab. So look behind us and look at your track. So we're tracking the runway perfectly. Our nose is off to the side, but that's because you lift it off at the correct crosswind angle. That's what we want, ideally, because again, if we were on the parallels and we weren't doing proper wind correction, could be drifting into the other runway, right?